Today we're here talking about downsizing and living with less. And Bettina, can you just tell us what your interest in downsizing is?
Look, I'm an interior stylist and color consultant, and I have self-published a book called Downsize with Style. It's connected to a website where people can download checklists and worksheets and work along a 5-step process.
So Bettina, you introduced us to Tammy.
Hi, welcome to my lovely flat.
Thank you so much for having us here. This has been the most extraordinary makeover we've done here today. A really interesting story for everybody to see how downsizing from a big house, and how many bedrooms in the house?
We had 3 bedrooms, 2
Yes.
bath, double car garage and a huge shed and a huge garden in the suburbs. So
Okay.
it was quite a big difference from what we have today.
And this apartment is what?
It's 2 bedrooms, 2 bath with just a very small garage. So space was of the essence, and we basically had to eliminate a lot of our life to move here. But in exchange, we got a beautiful lifestyle.
So Bettina, in your experience then, when you wrote the book, what are the biggest issues that people face when it comes down to downsizing?
Yeah, look, I'd say the biggest is decluttering. Most people have too much stuff and they accumulate so many things, and then they don't declutter regularly, and then when they come to that step, they kind of absolutely get stuck and they don't know how to start and they don't know where to get rid of things, and it's just too much. They're overwhelmed and then they procrastinate, and this is why so many people don't downsize early enough. So
But for you, Tammy, did you find that? Was it who was the brainchild of the whole downsizing project?
Well, we both knew that we didn't want to be in that home forever. So I think I instigated the topic and the conversation to do something sooner rather than later, to be more connected to the activity and to live in a place that had more of a vibe and be, connected to the city, on a ferry or a bus or something.
And how long did it actually take you to go through that decluttering process?
Well, once we actually decided that we were going to put the house for sale, we probably took about a good 6 months and systematically went through every single room, particularly the large shed that we had a lot of boxes with a lot of paperwork stored. And my husband came up with a great idea, and that was to actually scan and shred every single piece of document or paper or history, receipts, all those sorts of things.
So you really weren't letting go of anything?
We weren't, but it was just a great system, because if we did want to go back for historical purposes, it was all filed on a huge directory and that on a hard disk, and that's backed up.
So one of the other big things, Bettina, you've been talking about is prioritising. Now, prioritising is really big in the organising world, and with Hard Storage World, whenever we do any makeovers, it's all about prioritising the spaces. And I think I'd really like to just point out that why this was such an interesting makeover from our point of view was because you've actually done all the hard work of the decluttering and so on, and you've moved into this beautiful apartment, and you've very cleverly designed a beautiful long storage cupboard like this. You've downsized an entire office for Philip into one cupboard, and your office into your cupboard, and a utility cupboard over here and a pantry cupboard. But there was still a little bit further to go, wasn't there?
Certainly, because you always leave those little organizational tasks for the last, the very last. For us, actually, we moved and then we renovated straight away, and then we put in new cabinetry, and so we lived in our bedroom for 2 weeks. 3 weeks while this renovation was going on. We just wanted to chuck things in and shut the door and just enjoy our apartment. So we never had a chance to really reorganize everything.
And so what do you think of what we've done here?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, now I could see what's in my office.
Yes.
and Philip is just, it's just fantastic. We love it.
Simple things like having repetition Now, as designers, both of
Yes.
you, repetition is the way you calm a space down, isn't it?
That's right.
And grouping and prioritising where things go. Putting like things together in containers instantly creates one facing rather than having lots of little things lying around. I think the biggest example of that for me was in Philip's area when he had all those cords everywhere.
He loves his wires.
Love his wires.
Yes.
Well,
Bless
and
him.
curiously, we even had a basket that sort of looks like wires on the outside, our new Neo baskets.
Yeah, I love those.
And yet it still looks masculine in there, and yours still looks nice and feminine. But probably one of the other big surprises for me was in your pantry cupboard and your utility cupboard by putting some pull-out drawers in place.
Great idea.
It instantly means that you're using the back part of your shelf, not just the front third.
It's just getting around to organizing it. I mean, realistically, these things, but when you're busy and
That's it.
working from home, that's the last thing the last thing on the list, isn't it?
That's right. So do you feel inspired now seeing
I
this?
do. Now I'm going to go from room to room, I think. And our laundry needs some help. But look, I now have the motivation, believe you me.
So is it worth living with less?
I love living with less. I mean, why do we need to own so many things? I'm not sure about that now, Now that I've come out on the other side, I just realize that there's more to life. We have the whole outdoors. We go cycling now. We take walks. We're not,
Constrained by the
bound
house.
by all these things, So we're still pinching ourselves actually. So
But you still have plenty of things here.
I know. So it's just the smartest way to do things, I have to say.
So it's living smarter.
Living smarter and living with less,
Yeah.
for sure.
So Tammy, if somebody was considering downsizing, would you say do it?
I would say do it.
Yes.
In a heartbeat, because the unknown and the adventure is just...
Is that part of the fun of it?
It's it makes you feel alive again. Knowing that you're going to be doing something that could potentially just change your life for the better. And I know sometimes people have that fear factor that comes into it, but we felt like it was just a huge adventure, like I said before, and we haven't looked back. Really haven't. So.
And so, Bettina, from your point of view, was this just the most wonderful case study of the benefits of downsizing?
Yeah, it was. It was really. And I think one of the biggest things, or one of the most important things Tammy and Philip did was making a decision at some point, because that's another big issue. People procrastinate, they don't make a decision, and then it gets harder and harder. And they said, now we're going to do it in a year, or whatever that was. And then they went and
they bought their shredder and they bought their scanner and they got to it.
And things fall into place, and then you kind of work towards that.
And I'm
goal,
just disappointed we didn't do it 10 years ago.
Oh,
but
heavens.
we're here today, and that's the most important thing.
Yes.
And now we wake up and we have walks on the beach and we walk everywhere, and we just have this wonderful life. So I'm really, really happy.
Well, I've got to say to you, you're an inspiration to us all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kathy. Thanks, Bettina.